What is up, guys, and welcome to another video. So today is the third day of Heart of Thorns, the third day in the row where I have completely no life to and been an absolute nerd and played all day. I wanted to talk to you guys about how the game's developed a little more, and specifically, something about Verdant Brink. Now, on yesterday's video, we talked about Tarir, we talked about the meta event that was available in that map, and the process of defeating the 4 Octovines to access the rest of the city. I kind of want to do a spotlight now on that same event, but the Verdant Brink equivalent. The map-wide event for Verdant Brink. Now, you might be thinking, oh my god, Verdant Brink, really? We've seen it in the betas, we know so much about it. But I can almost guarantee you guys, there's a lot about Verdant Brink you have no idea about. Once again, this is one of those metas that it seems a lot of people have attempted, but not really many coordinated groups have gone out there and pushed it properly. And so I took the opportunity on the stream today to do just that. Before I jump into that, though, again, I'll clarify, not many spoilers today, if any at all. And I want to talk about some of the other stuff I tried before we jump into Verdant Brink. Namely, Nightfury. So, Nightfury is a Halloween item. Today was the first time I really acknowledged, basically, Halloween's existence outside of the damn decorations in Lion's Arch. And I spent a good while today of both my money and a friend's money trying to figure out how to craft this damn thing. So, it was said shortly before release that a couple of devs had pulled some even all-nighters and really saved Halloween for this year, that there wasn't very much involved with Halloween until they came along and put some stuff in. Nightfury seems to be one of these things. Nightfury is an ultra-rare, mysterious skin that currently, supposedly, is available in the game right now, but nobody's figured out how to do it. It's expensive, and it's a hugely exciting task of managing to figure this damn thing out. So, Nightfury itself is a shoulder piece that doesn't actually come with a skin. I believe this is a first for Guild Wars 2. So, you equip a shoulder piece, but it doesn't actually appear like on your character anywhere. There's no physical component of it. Instead, it is purely a new animation, a special effect that will go on your character, stack with other effects like the Queen Bee, like the black polyluminescent refractor, like any of your legendary effects. It will stack with those, and what this effect is a swarm of bats that follow you everywhere you go. Particularly, I really want to play a bat-themed Reaper now. The Reaper would be a necromancer who uses the new gem store greatsword that has bats following it, has the epic bat wings, has the bat glider, and lastly, Nightfury to finish it off. And I'm super excited about getting this skin. And do you know why? I think because it's rare. Actually, as cool as the bats look, there have been a lot of different things in Guild Wars 2 over the years, different legendaries, different gem store things that have had interesting effects to them. This isn't super far and away from any of those, but because nobody's got it yet, because when people finally do figure out how to get it, it seems to be quite expensive at that, because it's only going to be available for the 2 weeks that Halloween are here. Suddenly, it seems like it's almost like they've got a legendary shoulder piece in the damn game. That rarity is really making me very thrilled at the prospect of crafting this thing. So, I wanted to let you guys know about its existence if this is the kind of stuff that entices you too. You know, I've really noticed as I play Heart of Thorns, you go to new maps, right? And there's new weapon skins unlocking. As you complete story steps, there's new armor skins unlocking, weapon skins as well. There's all kinds of new stuff that ArenaNet just keeps throwing at you. And I find most of the skins I don't care about. It's like, oh, I've unlocked that, cool. I'm never really considering using it. Why? Because I feel like there's not any real effort associated with a lot of that stuff. For Nightfury, there definitely is, and I have been really thrilled at the thought of grabbing one. But you might be wondering, okay, WoodenPotatoes, why don't people know how to get this thing? Well, because it's very similar to what we had at launch with legendary weapons, where they were built from Mystic Forge recipes, but those recipes themselves were mysteries. So we know it's in the game, and we know a bunch of new items now are available for combining the Mystic Forge, but we don't know the full recipe. So, for example, there are some tattered bat wings, a very rare drop that comes from the new Halloween dungeon. If you grab 4 of those, either from running the dungeon or doing the TP as I did, if you grab 4 of those, you can combine them with 120 powerful blood, with 250 mystic coins, and something else, and get out of it another component, this just regular, like, exotic batwing. And as you mouse over it, it says, this screams at the forge to you, or something along these lines. And you know it's something that goes back in the forge, but what do you combine it with? And that's where the excitement comes. People don't know. You can actually throw it back in, and so far we have figured out that it's glacial lodestones that you need to put in there, and it is, I believe, a gift of darkness. The gift of darkness is actually a component for legendary crafting. It's for Twilight. And so this feels really similar. You know, it's this multi-tiered Mystic Forge ultimate thing to build some final item. And we're at the point now where a few items have been detected. People know that there are recipes in the forge, but how are they completed? Perhaps it involves going to the new Heart of Thorns areas and killing some of these like new bat-themed beast enemies you find in some places. We just don't know. What I particularly am enjoying about myself with this is I actually missed all of that stuff with the legendaries at launch. The people who found those original legendary recipes, I never really heard about. I never saw their, their adventures, their discovery process. This is a part of the game that, rarely comes. The Mystic Forge is a cool system because, in theory, the devs can continuously add this kind of stuff, and some people in the community can be a part of this discovery phase. Once it's found, it's just a question of money, and it's just kind of boring crafting. This is the first time ever I've really played into this. This is all I've done of this year's Halloween, and it's the first time I've tried to experience this kind of thing, and it's fairly rewarding. Even though I haven't made anything yet, there's that kind of boundless excitement there, and that's something pretty nice. I don't get from many areas of Guild Wars 2. Wanted to let you guys know about the more people we have on the cause, the better, I suppose. I'll link you to the main Reddit thread where discussion is going on. Just filter it by new and go crazy with it, I guess. The other thing I want to talk about just before we go to Verdant Brink as well is a bit of discussion again on masteries. I definitely feel like by day 3, I've really settled into the expansion. I've got a good feel for the rate of masteries, and I'm still feeling very positively about it. Now, I haven't pushed any of my masteries like really far, but I basically have tier 3 on every line. I've got tier 4 on a couple of lines, and they push all the way up to tier 6. So I'm still having a lot of fun with the masteries. It's been really rewarding, actually. The main one that people have been talking about, the Poison Law, which is gating personal story completion, which they've now fixed. This actually is really cool to unlock and then finally go back to Verdant Brink, where there was a specific cave with some of these horrible thorns, which I died on like 3 times as I kept wandering in there and forgetting where I was. The maps are so big, let's just say it's that, not my stupidity. And, to finally have the Poison Law and walk there and see the vines receding around your feet and being just fine was really fun. What I kind of get a bit upset by is how little discussion there is on the invalidation of the core Tyria masteries as a result of COFP1 farming. Alright, what did I mean by what I just said there? Well, what I mean is, today when I kicked up the stream, a guildie of mine joined my party, and he was like level 56 masteries, or was he 64? It was some ridiculous level. Why? Because he had spent just a little bit of time in COF, grinding on mobs that infinitely spawn. Basically, it seems an oversight from ArenaNet that allow you to just jack up tons of experience. And so now we have a lot of people who have completely invalidated this idea of slowly earning core Tyria masteries. You get them in a couple of hours. It's like a nuisance. You just sort of get it done with, and you bump yourself all the way up to 60. This idea of being impressed by someone who's got a fairly high mastery level now doesn't really mean so much. And, people have everything maxed out. They have all the legendary crafting stuff maxed out. They have all the fractal stuff maxed out without even having to step in them necessarily. And they have the mentor line maxed out with all the auto loot. Those kind of rewarding experiences where you have some progression ahead of you that you work for and then finally feel good because you finish them, they're just not a part of Heart of Thorns for core Tyria because everybody's going to COF. Now, I don't necessarily blame people who have done it. Obviously, if it exists, then players are going to do what they can to get stuff done as fast as possible. But I wonder how ArenaNet can treat this going forward. Like, what do they do? Is this a situation where all this, like, incredible speed that people have got just by doing something very basic, literally standing on, like, a turret auto-attacking mobs as they come in, is this something that should be allowed? Are they going to eventually nerf that method? If they nerf the method, which I think the game would benefit from it being nerfed, does that then mean that everyone who used it early on has to have their levels taken away? That's surely going to cause a massive backlash. So I'm really not sure. I was pretty unhappy to see that it was in the game, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. I think the general community attitude right now is, oh, I just want to do it really fast. Oh, I don't like the arbitrary artificial content lengthening through this stuff. It's all grind. So what, you'd rather do real legit grind, auto-attacking for a couple of hours to just get it done with quickly? I'm very curious. Try and keep the vitriol at a reasonable level, and we'll see what people say. Alright, so Verdant Brink, this is what I want to do a bit of spotlight on for today. This map's incredible. So I really sat down, and today I decided I want to understand how this meta event works. How did ArenaNet design this? Because we heard a lot about it, but especially when it comes to the nighttime, through the betas and so on, it really wasn't very clear how stuff was working. We'd get a beta, and it would only be a small section of Verdant Brink. So, like, this map-wide bar you would push, known as the Verdant Brink security level, was never really going that high. We didn't know what happened when we pushed it very high. And so, I'm here with the answers for you guys today, how this stuff links in. Now, yesterday I was talking about Tyria, and I was talking about how you kind of had 2 phases to the map. You have the city under attack, and then you have when the city's not under attack, and you're kind of activating all the pylons, and all the events connected together. You don't so much have that for Verdant Brink. So here's the way the map generally works. You've got the daytime and the nighttime. During the daytime, there are 5 different outposts in the map, and around each outpost is a meta event, which is just like a story, basically. So, you know, the Farron's Flyer outpost, this deals with the nobles from Divinity's Reach who were shot down in the jungle, and you find out the stuff about Farron, eventually culminates in a fight against a wyvern at the end, right? That's the daytime story there. At the first outpost you go to, there's the story of Lorantha in the wild, and his Pale Reavers traveling through the jungle as well, and taking on the Morgem. There's an outpost to do with the Itzel, there's an outpost to do with some of the Smiths that joined the Pact, and lastly there's a 5th one. Through the betas we saw 4 of these outposts. The 5th one has only been available for the actual release of the game, and this one deals a lot more with like Sylvari racism and, you know, the Pact being unsure of whether the Sylvari are their allies or not. This takes place in the very middle of the map. So these things actually don't really impact at all what happens at night. The idea is you do these during the day, and once they're finished, you unlock adventures near them. So one of them unlocks an adventure where you're flying through the map, going through all these rings, Spyro the Dragon 1 and 2 style. And, you know, it's just this really, really rewarding adventure. I've been playing a lot more of them today. It's been a lot of fun. One of them with Farron's Flyer, this is the shooting gallery. So there are adventures by each of them. But aside from that, that's the day. That's just the way that the day works. And you do the events or you fail the events, and then the next morning comes and you get to repeat them again. That's it. So let's talk about night. Night exists kind of separately. As soon as night falls on Verdant Brink, across the entire map, you have a bar you can push up called the Verdant Brink security level. And this generally represents how safe Verdant Brink is. It's very similar to how, before a sandstorm in Drytop, completing events helps the Zephyrites out, and you can push the Zephyrites' favor up if you guys have played on that map. This is basically the same thing. So the more events that get completed during the night, the higher the security level bar goes. There are, as far as I can tell, 4 security levels, maybe a 5th. So at first you're at security level 1. You do a few events and it pushes the bar up, and if you've got some kind of a coordinated group going on, you'll get to security level 2. I tend to find during my normal playing of Verdant Brink, people don't ever really get to security level 2. Maybe once or twice they have, but usually people aren't organized enough or they don't care enough. So it usually stays around security level 1 during the night, right? People just, there's Morgem everywhere and they just run by and they do whatever else they were trying to do, and that's it. But you can get it to security level 2, and then you can push it even higher to security level 3. Today on the stream, we tried our absolute best to do as much as possible, and we got right to the end of security level 3. We were an inch, like one event away from getting security level 4, but we never managed to get security level 4. When you bump those security levels up, it means at the night you get a chest. That chest will have better rewards in it based on the security level you've pushed, and theoretically, stuff around the map will have better rewards too. For example, during the day, after the adventures unlock, there are all these packed cargo things all around the map. Some of them are floating in the sky that you can glide by. Some of them are ground that you use crowbars to open up. And at night, presumably there's something similar as you push the security level up, but I'm not entirely sure on this. But so the goal is basically to push that security level high. So when night falls, again, think of the idea that you've got the 5 different outposts that during the day had various characters wandering around. At each of those outposts now, there are going to be 4 rally points. A rally point is just basically an area where some members of Pact are trying to defend themselves from constant Morgem. Morgem spawn all over the map, and there are 4 rally points at each outpost, for a total of 20 rally points, it seems, across the entire map. So when night falls, basically you want all your groups at all the different outposts, and then you spread out, and what you want to do is hold all 4 of those rally points. What you don't want to do at night is have large Zergs that all stand together. If you have a large Zerg at a single rally point, all it's going to do is scale that rally point defense up really high to the point you've got massive champions attacking and, you know, all kinds of really nasty Morgem. You should actually see in the footage, sometimes these rally points when they're under attack, there is a real threat of the Morgem succeeding. Not a very big threat, but there's a bit of a threat there. I think it needs to be tuned a bit higher to actually feel like we'll lose them. But so basically you want people spread out. You want all 4 of those. If you're going for max security level, you want everybody spread out across all of the different rally points that are captured. So it opens with the rally points being held by the Morgem. You capture them for yourselves, and then basically a defense wave starts very soon. And when you manage to defend them against the Morgem for having people spread out, it pushes security level even higher. And then you get a bit of a break. You get a bit of a respite. Now, another attack, another assault of Mordrum is going to come to your rally point soon. But at this point, the rally points aren't really very defensible. They've got like a couple of barricades. They have barely any NPCs there. The NPCs are really squishy, and the Mordrum are just going to run all over them. So there's an idea of each rally point you can tier up. You tier the rally points up by gathering supplies around the map and bringing them back to the rally points. So, again, at night, once night's fallen, there is just supply, random supply all over the place. These crates that you pick up, once you grab them, you can use the skill 2, ping it, and it will direct you to where some of the rally points are. When you move over, you can press F with those supplies to tier them up. And as they tier up, each individual rally point, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and then finally tier 5, they get stronger and stronger, and they get more defensible, easier to defend. At the same time, there are more events going on. Okay, there are scouts around the map, members of the Pact who are trying to bring supply into the camps too. If you get a member of the Pact in, it will instantly tier that rally camp up straight away. So they're worth a lot of supply if you can get them through. But if they die, the event fails completely. So you need people spread out. In the footage here, you'll actually see that Tempest build I've been running, where I'm playing really supporty with lots of aura heals. It's actually really good for getting the scouts and the runners into the camps. Like, really good. I managed to get to them just as they're about to die and then heal them all the way up, give them tons of swiftness, and then we can run through. So that's one type of event going on. There's another type of event where Pact helicopters crash down on the map and they just spew supply everywhere, and then you can grab this supply and run it into your camps. Actually, the running of supply seemed kind of difficult and not very rewarding during the betas, but I really think that's because we didn't have many masteries during the betas. Verdant Brink, as it now stands, with all the updrafts everywhere and all the access to gliding and all the mushrooms and stuff, it's actually much easier to move around, and it really plays into this a lot better. And then finally, this is what I think we ignored and why we failed to push the security level super high. There are also champions, big, dangerous champions that spawn around the map. So not only are you defending your rally points, but you're going out there hunting down big Mordrum too, and trying to deal with them. Every time one of these events finishes, you tier your security level up. Alright, so that's the idea. And in theory, you could just play the night like that, try and own all of them, keep pushing the security level up, and then hopefully by the time the sun raises, you've got yourself to a really high security level and you're done. But there is another part of the night time. And this is that I think it's 15 minutes before the night ends, okay? So about 20 minutes, I think, after night began. At this point, helicopters come to land at all of the currently owned rally points, which hopefully by this point you've all got them to tier 5 and you've got players ready. And say you're in one of the 4 rally points at Jacket Itzel, okay? The Itzel village just to the north near where you first enter Verdant Brink. If you're at one of those rally points, you'll be taken way up into the sky, high into the canopy, and you will be faced against some really deadly bosses, like these ultimate challenges, these really dangerous bosses. And so because there's one for each outpost, there's one with Farron's Flyer, there's one with the Smiths in the top left, there's one at Jacket Itzel, there's one with the Rantha's area, and there's one in the very center. There are 5 mega bosses in the sky that you have about 15 minutes to kill before the sun rises in every nighttime in Verdant Brink. 5 of them. Every time you manage to neutralize one of these threats, one of the 5, it pushes your security level really high. But it's very challenging to kill them. So what we actually managed to do on the stream was we did manage to kill all 5 of the bosses. We did clear the entire map in terms of these big, dangerous bosses. But we didn't quite nail the security level stuff, and so we were slightly shy of tier 4. So in some ways we did something pretty good, and something certainly I never see any random maps do. But in other ways we, we missed out on a little something there. So to talk about these bosses a little bit, and these really are the cherries on the cake. This is where Verdant Brink is so fantastic. You may have seen some of them already. In fact, back in February, where I got to play an early preview version of the game, I actually encountered one of them straight away. This is the legendary Wyvern. So in the very center of the map, if you go up into the canopy on one of these helicopters, you'll be pitted against a Mordrum Wyvern. It's important to note that this event is against a Mordrum Wyvern, while during the day, if any Wyverns spawn, then they're just like regular Wyverns. And I think they're female Wyverns. I think they're matriarchs. So that's one of the fights. There's another fight where you have to fight 3 bosses. This should be some of the footage you're seeing right now. You have to fight 3 bosses at once. They are all super powerful Mordrum Guard in this tiny little arena that are trying to blow you out of it. And once you manage to kill all 3 of those, which in itself is a big challenge, a final legendary one spawns, and you have to take that boss out too. That boss has an interesting kind of Tequatl style mechanic where he sends shockwaves that you have to jump over. Every one of these fights has some engaging mechanic you really have to pay attention to. Another area is a pretty infamous one that people have been struggling a bit with. Of course, just like the Tarir event, these events events do play with masteries. Masteries aren't a hard gate for a lot of it, but they are certainly necessary in some areas. So one of these bosses is an Axe Master, and what this guy does is he stealths, and then after he stealths, if nobody de-stealths him, then he, like, nukes everyone. If you've got enough people, you can overwhelm him anyway, but this is where one of the masteries from the new Hawk comes in, because you can de-stealth the character. So you want to send people with that mastery early up into this fight here. He's the one that most people seem to struggle with in the early days, but I think is becoming increasingly easy over time as more people get masteries done. There's Jaka Itzel, which has both a new Hawk and an Itzel Mordrim up in the sky, and these guys are really interesting because they sort of fight alongside one another, and when they get low on health, they run away, like, up all these bouncing mushrooms really high up. You're already high up in the canopy, but they go up to this floating island in this fountain, and they start drinking and resting at a fountain, massively regenerating their health. So you have to chase them up there using bouncing mushrooms, and then you have to, like, CC them. You have to break their break bars to stop them regenning. They drop back down to the regular battlefield. You fight them, and you can manage to kill them. And then last of all, there is another Wyvern. This Wyvern isn't a Mordrim Wyvern. This Wyvern isn't a matriarch Wyvern like you encounter at the end of the Farron event, as far as I remember, or you encounter during the day. This is a patriarch. This one, again, takes place high up in the canopy. This one requires gliding and updraft mastery, and you nuke this guy to trigger burn phases by throwing eggs from the air, and it is absolutely fantastic, and I really want to show it off to you guys, so I hope you have fun with this. This is basically the way that Verdant Brink works. I think it's really cool. I'm looking forward to see if there is a tier 4, and even beyond tier 4 if they've got a tier 5 for, like, those really organized groups. But if you don't know how the meta works, if you're interested in playing this yourself, as time goes by and there's less for you guys to do, more people will start looking to completing these big events that are available in the content, and I'm just happy to be able to show it off and explain it to you guys early on. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this clip of that final fight. I certainly had a blast today, and I'll be with you tomorrow for more information about probably the meta event on the third map, which is amazingly complicated, the Tangled Roots. I'll see you next time, guys. Look at that, security level 2 just got a massive buff.
Glad you could help.
Alright, come on. Okay, one threat neutralized. Damn, the other threats are not going well. Okay, that's one threat. Let's move on to the next. Let's go to the outpost over here where you meet Lorantha of the Wild. I'm going to go to that outpost. Actually, down here, the Shrouded Ruins. We're going to go up again. Climb up this chopper here. This seems like this would have been a cool one. Take me up to the canopy. Spread out, guys. Next bosses. Next bosses. This is it. Wyvern eggs. Oh, my God. What? We got to kill the flying wyverns? What? Can we throw the eggs? Drop eggs. Drop an explosive wyvern egg onto the Patriarch to damage his shield. This is mental. This is so cool. All right, go up again. We've got 10 minutes to finish off the other threats. Oh, we're security level 3. Oh, 3 out of 5 threats neutralized. Oh my God, this is badass. Axe went down. The Axe Master is down. Good job, guys. Nicely done. I'm going to fly to this with a wyvern egg. Oh my God. Oh, there's some more updrafts here. Oh, do I have to bomb him as I fly past? Oh, damn, son. Oh, that's badass. Okay. So what, we drop down again? Her shield? I just damaged her shield. Do we have to organize a spike? Oh my God, look, 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 look. What do we do here? Do we DPS these in the sky? Oh, this is cool. Alright, I've got another egg. Up we go. Action combat, baby. That's amazing. I shouldn't have to do my own sound effects, ArenaNet. Is that one down there? Yeah, we got one. We got one. Wait, no, it's mine. No. Oh, we did get it. Oh, wait, we both got one. Okay, sure. Alright, how close should I fly? Do I die if I go instantly? Look at him! We're bombing him with his own eggs. This is pretty morbid, to be honest. This is pretty, you know... This is some dark stuff right here. I know I wanted dark storylines, ain't it? But this is just going a little bit too far. Do you know what I mean? Throwing the unborn babies of a woman. Oh, God, at its own mother. You know, what sick narcissist came up with this? Oh, he's burnable! He's DPSable! Burn! Let's get in here! Let's go! Oh, my God, he CC'd me instantly. I got heals for you, my friends. It feels super pointless, but I've got heals for you. Patriarchs are male. Whoops. Oh, yeah. All right, so throwing his other eggs. Oh, come on. I got you, friend. I got you, friend. You're going to be okay.
Oh, thank you. I don't know what I'd do without the pact.
Oh, no, you don't. No CCs for you, my friend. Next egg phase needs to be quick, guys, apparently they're saying. Oh, God, yeah. We don't have long, so we got 3 out of 5. We're on security level 3. How many security levels are there? Did his shield come back? I can't target him. He's flying off. Oh, my God, look at him go. Oh, Jesus, warp speed. All right, down we go. Look at all the people we've got here. This is amazing. This should have been in the betas. There should have been a dev stream of them doing this. Do you know how many more copies of the game they would have sold? If this, I mean, it's not like there's been a hard cut-off point and they still can't. But people aren't going to know about this crap, man. This is so cool. Again, so this seems like it's kind of map chat commander possible. Rather than, you know, guilds getting together to organize stuff. Again, a hard mode world boss poppable version of this stuff for guilds would be pretty much perfect. With, you know, unique skins as rewards, just like we have Wormslayer skins. Night is waning, daybreak is near. Oh, God. 5 minutes. Yeah, you definitely need updraft for this. This is an example of one that a mastery is absolutely gating. But, I mean, really, the spirit of this isn't to force people to grind. The spirit of this is because it's badass to have updrafts as a part of the fight. Jesus Christ. Do you know what I hate? This stupid white flash every time big mobs get hit. Turn that off. Let us get rid of that. This is why your game looks like crap, ArenaNet. Turn it off, please. You said you were skilled at culling away stuff to make combat more readable. We don't need a white flash. We don't need that. What is that supposed? It works on small enemies to let you know that they're taking damage, right? Like it makes the combat a little bit more visceral. That was the old word we used to use for it. Visceral combat. But I'm telling you right now, it isn't necessary for these bosses. I wish ICM could, like, disable it or something. Or someone created an app that, it's just the worst thing in the world. Look at it. Oh, somebody crashed right at the end. We're going to get security level 4. If there's a security level 5, then I think this could be really interesting, but I doubt they've got it scaled so high. Oh my God, I'm dying. Bring him down, Legolas! If he triggers another egg phase, but oh, baby! Oh, I crashed. I crashed. That's it. It's over. Game over. I crashed. I can't believe it.